know box plot, scatter plot, heat map, bubble charts, you know all the things. But you have pie chart, but you have to learn the method of doing it. So that's where you'll see it's a refresher course. But when you go to artificial intelligence, you will see very similarity because same thing will be there what you are doing here. Because machine learning is an important component of big data, and that's what machine learning is part of the AI for your course. Okay, we'll start in another few minutes. If you have any question, you can raise the question.
So do we need to write the Python code if this type of question is coming in an exam?
If you can't write Python, you can write Java.
Okay.
You can write any language, but
But pseudocode will not work, right?
yeah,
We need to write the code.
yeah.
Okay.
But if somebody, since the Python is given in your text here, if some program is given in the examination which normally should not be given, then you have to explain that. Okay.
Okay.
And Python instructions are very simple instructions, so you can easily explain the result of that.
Okay.
11:15 we will start the talk. Another 4 minutes. Okay. This unit talks about data visualization and interpretation. So you have histogram, box plot, scatter plots, heat map, bubble chart, bar chart, distribution plot, pair plot, line graph, pie chart, Duffner chart, area chart, and so on and so forth. So that's what the previous unit covers details on different aspects of data analysis. Now we'll see how you present this to help you to appreciate the real world need for workforce trained in visualization techniques. So that how do you visualize the data and see to design. So visual representation, so that supposing you have a monthly salary and then you have overtime, you have bonus, this and all that, so that you produce either histogram or bar chart or pie chart and all that. How many uh, men and women are there? You can prepare by pie chart. How many different parties people are there? You can plot. So all these are things we do. So let us study the different types of plot. So this is encourage the group to act proactively, showcasing progress towards the goal to the stakeholder. So, for example, there are several variety of charts and graph than before. Now, in reality, the amount of data that we produce, acquire, copy, and use now will nearly double by 2025. पहले सिर्फ बिग डेटा एज आई टोल्ड यू यस्टरडे इज बेसिकली मीटरोलॉजिकल एंड आर्कियोलॉजिकल डेटा अब तो सारा ही बिकॉज व्हाट्सएप है फेसबुक है ट्विटर है और ऑल टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर so that you have the whole data, structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data, all type of data is there. So, but you have to use the data so that you can use it for prediction purposes. You can use for fraud detection. You can use for so many other which companies you should work. Entrepreneurship के लिए those are the important questions which you encourage the group to act proactively, showcasing progress towards the goal, display core values of a company or an organizing to audience. That's what they say. So now histogram. The histogram visualize the distribution of data across distinct groups with continuous classes. For how you construct graph, to construct histogram, the data is grouped into specific class interval or bins and plotted along the x-axis. These represent the range of the data. Then the rectangles are constructed with their bases along the interval for each class. The height of these rectangles is measured along the y-axis, representing the frequency of each class interval. So, for example, you use cases when it is necessary to illustrate or compare the distribution of specific numerical data. You need to draw by so distribution of salaries in an organization, distribution of height in one batch of student of a class, student performance on an examination, customer by company size or the frequency of the product. So that's what you want to say. So analyze various data groups. The best data groups can be found by creating a variety of histogram. Break down compartments using color. You can use various colors and all that. For example, this is bin A 36 to 38, 38 to 40, 40 to 42, 42 to 44. This frequency is 2, frequency 4, 10, this 46, frequency this 10, 15, this is it. So this is a 36 to 54. So this is there. That's the one. The 36, 38 frequency was 2. This is 2. Then frequency was 4, 10, 15, and so on. And then 19 was 46 by 18. So 19, 46, 18, and 15, 48, 50. So that's the, so this makes a histogram. House fly wing length by model. This is the histogram which is made. So that's then bimodal distribution, this distribution has two peaks. In the case of bimodal, this. So these are the one peak here, another peak here. Same distribution, frequency 0, 1, frequency 6, 2, frequency 4, 2, 4. There are 4, 4, and 6, 6. So this is a peak, this is a peak, and this is the second peak. So that's what 6, 6, 4, 4, and then 2, 2. This is also 4. So, but peaks are 6, 6. So there is the bimodal, double peak. The distribution has two peaks. You can have three peaks also. This is a single peak, frequency results and all that. So you can see between this and this is this and this is this. So that's the type of. Then you have various skewed, left skewed, right skewed, and all that. So this is right skewed, this is right skewed, and left skewed is this. This is left skewed. So this is right skewed and this is left skewed. So this is what skewed because it is the peak is coming to the left or coming to the right of the. That's it. Coming later or coming earlier. That's type of thing. The random distribution, ये random distribution आ गया. So these are randomly distributed. All these things are there. These are, as a result, the data ought to be partitioned and investigated independently because this is very randomly distributed. कोई कहाँ है, कोई कहाँ है. So it's not a regular peak like this and all that. So that type of thing. Edge peak distribution. So these are the edge peak distribution. ये कहाँ peak आ रहा है, यहाँ peak आ रहा है. So that type of comb distribution. This is a comb type. बिल्कुल आपका comb बन गया है, कंगा बन गया है. See that type of distribution. These are the various type of name. Histogram for population of data group 86 people. So this is the population size 23, 18 and all that. इसकी diagram ये बन गई. 23, 18, 15, 6, 11. This is a population data group of 100 people histograms and all that. Is it okay? Age group of the people and all that. So there are 20 to 25 and there are few 46 to 50, 13. But 36 to 45, 4 are the minimum people there. That's the bit. So then you can say histogram for the following data 0 to 10 is 50, 10 to 20, 70, this and all that. So this is the histogram for data. So you can plot this also. So that's what do histogram show, why histogram used and all that. Say you can have salaries, you can have age difference, you can have height differences, you can have men and women, you can all that. Now box plot. When displaying data distribution using the five essential summary statistics of minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. Box and whisker plot, also known as box plots, are widely employed, where their first quartile ka hai, third quartile ka hai, and so on. So that type of thing, construction of box, shape of a distribution, central value, variety of data, ये यूज केस ये बन जाता देखो इंग्लिश मैथमेटिक्स साइंस इकोनॉमिक्स सेक्शन ए सेक्शन बी सेक्शन सी उसके मार्क्स है बच्चों के एंड देन यू से क्या से डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है ये देखिए ये बॉक्स हो गया ये सेक्शन ए का है ये सेक्शन बी का है ये सेक्शन सी का है तो तीनों सेक्शन के बच्चों के मार्क्स आ गए इंग्लिश के इसी तरह मैथमेटिक्स के मार्क्स आ गए इस तरह साइंस के मार्क्स आ गए इस तरह ये तो जहाँ से पता लगता है कि कौन सी class section which is doing better. Say for example, this probably is doing better because यहाँ मैथमेटिक्स के मार्क्स मैक्सिमम है यहाँ साइंस के मार्क्स कम है लेकिन यहाँ सेक्शन जो बी है is doing better in science whereas here section A was doing better in mathematics because इन सबसे ज़्यादा मार्क्स इसी में है here साइंस में ये दोनों सेक्शन आर डूइंग इक्वल ये येलो जो है दिस इज सेक्शन बी का science or economics में they are doing better and then in section C this is doing better because this is economics they are doing better but other में इनके कम marks है okay so that's what you can see this is a box plot so you can say then scatter plot construction of scatter plot is ये देख टेम्परेचर सेल ऑफ आइसक्रीम कितनी सेल होती है डिफरेंट टेम्परेचर पर और 45 पर इतनी सेल होती है और 1750 टू 5362 लेकिन 42 में 5400 होती है whereas 42 there is a maximum sale so that's where you get the plot and this is the distribution curve so that type of scatter plot is there so this is type of this यहाँ number of relationship between scatter plot है it's a temperature and the number of money which is being utilized and all that money is being utilized here maximum so that type of scatter diagram is drawn and this where the straight line is possible and simple regression is equation y is equal to mx plus c is the one type of equation which is the regression equation so you can predict if the temperature is this much how much ice cream you should prepare so that you should be able to sell it so this is one used for prediction purposes similarly if you need temperature and number of fans being sold number of AC being sold so that again you can have a scatter diagram predict so if the temperature goes this much or what will be the happening how many people will buy AC or fans or something like that so that's the type of then heat map are two-dimensional graphics that show data trends through color shading they are example of part of a whole chart in which values are represented using color they all make use of color to convey correlation between data values. So that's a use case. Heat maps are primarily used to better show the enormous amount of data contained inside a data set and help guide user to the part of the data visualization that matter most. Average monthly temperature of the year, department with the highest amount of attrition over time, traffic across a website or a product page, population density spread in a geographical distance. So that's this is the region-wise monthly sale of SKU stock keeping units. So this is January, February, March to December. This is north, south, east, west, different color area. So that type of thing. This is the heat map. So that's what the distribution of sale. You can easily see the thing because that color makes it thing more conspicuous so that you can see the thing very clear. Right? Heat map above broken down by zone and spanning a 12-month period like in a typical data table. Each cell displays a numeric count, but the count is also accompanied by color with higher counts donating deeper hues. So that's why say higher color at 91, 96, 96, 97. These are blue 92, these are blue 95, these are blue. The 50s are lower, they are red, 62 are little this, and 69s are different colors. So that you can see 50s, 55 up to 50, 61. These are color are of this nature, red. But then 62 onward, colors are different. 70 onward, 69 onward, colors are yellow, and 90 on 89 onward, colors are blue. So that's the type of colors. So you can see this. The, so 61, 62, 59, 57 are these colors. 73, 73, 75, these are the yellow color. 70, 69, this and all that. And 90, 89, 90, 91, 92, 96, 97 have blue color. So this from the color, you can say these are different higher value that you can decide which color you are using for low value, which color you are using for higher value and in between value. So these had four colors: red, maroon, yellow, and blue. So these four colors represent the heat. So that now bubble chart is just making these are bubbles. So उसका साइज बड़ा होता है कि बबल चार्ट में ये बड़ा ज़्यादा पैसे कम पैसे उससे ज़्यादा ज़्यादा कम 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 ज़्यादा ज़्यादा. So that is the stop sharing. Bubble chart, sale and profit versus the quantity sold. कितने सेल इतने हुआ कितना सेल हुआ. So that type of thing. So ये देखो PC 001 unit sold 325, profit is 20%, 02 1130 18%. So the sale in rupees and all these are covered here. So this is the number of units sold, sales in rupees, and bubble shows how much quantity has been sold. So that's what. Then bar chart. Bar chart is a typical bar chart is like this. This is a bar chart. Okay. So athlete 17% girls, uh, boys 17%, girls 17%, boys 24%. ये देखो दो कलर है ना उससे बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स का डिफरेंट बताया हुआ है. Vertical chart is like this, like a histogram but separated. Grouped bar chart वो ऐसे हो जाता है. डिफरेंट कलर्स के दो चीज़ें इसमें दो है. नंबर ऑफ बॉयज नंबर ऑफ गर्ल्स 110 110 85 and this is probably 185 and 175 and this is 240 225 240 225 so on so forth. These are the example of the various stacked bar chart. ये stacked bar chart आ जाता है. So इसी तरह sales by region, north south west east different colors से करके. So ये east का color this and all that. So that's what you can do. Distribution plot. This is a best practice. ये देखिए 1 to 1000 and 9000 to 10,000. 9001 to 10,000. These are the sales amount of distribution. So these are the chart. Pair plot. Pair plot pair plot is an extension of histogram and the scatter plot, which are both fundamental figures. The scatter plots on the upper and lower triangle show the relationship for leg therefore between two variables. So that type of thing. A pair plot can be utilized to gain an understanding of the optimum collection of characteristics and all that. So that you can say ये देखो इसका ये प्लॉट बना कैसा है, all these plots are made. These are the pair plots can be interpreted as follows. Along the boxes of the diagonal, ये diagonal boxes में क्या है? The diagonal, the variable names are displayed. A scatter plot of correlation between each pairwise combination of factors is shown in each of this. So that type thing. Line graph, ये line graph है. ये जैसे scatter diagram हमने करा था. Multiple line graph, ये देखो दो है. कंपाउंड लाइन ग्राफ ये कलर डिफरेंट कलर्स के होके ये ऐसे जा रहा है, ये ऐसे जा रहा है, ये कलर ऐसे है. सो दैट्स द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ लाइन ग्राफ. so that, so that generally finishes this chapter. Then units, pie chart, you know, round is so many owners, 5%, this percent, this percent, so that's the 360 degrees, all these are combined. That's what the so cats are 38%, dogs are 41%, birds are 16%, reptiles are 3%, small mammals are 2%. So these are the, that is 38% is this. Then dogs are 41%, and this is 16%, and then 3% and 2%. This is 3%, this is 2%. So that makes the total pie chart. 9 से 15 से 18 तो 20 2 1 3 4 7 3 10 100 का है और 100 को ऐसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दिया. These are total have been taken as 100. So 100 को परसेंटेज में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दिया. 38%, 41%, then 16%, 3% and 2%. ऐसे और पाई चार्ट ओनर्स दिस एंड ऑल दैट. पाई ऑफ पाई, this is pi of pi. Okay, so cats, dogs, and this and this. So owner, this bar of pi, ये this is the उसमें से निकाल के ये लगा दिया bar of pi. Then duff charts आ जाता है. Market share ये 24%, ये this is 33%, 22%, 13%, 8%. Company A, company B, company C, company D, company E. This. Then Duffnet charts. डफ चार्ट्स का ये है कि दिस इज ये वो डफ की तरह जो डफ होते खाने वाली होती है वैसे बनाया होता है. तो उसमें पूरा नहीं भरते. ये दिस इज 30%, दिस इज 25%, एंड दिस इज 45%. इनकम्प्लीट इज 45%, दिस इज 30%, एंड दिस इज 25%. 30%, 25, 45. Yellow is 45, this is 30%, and this is 25%. So that makes it एरिया चार्ट. एरिया चार्ट इज ये डिफरेंट कलर से एक दूसरा तीसरा. स्कैड एरिया स्टैक्ड एरिया चार्ट ये देखें. स्टैक्ड एरिया चार्ट ये दैट्स द प्रिंटर्स प्रोजेक्टर वाइट बोर्ड. सो दैट finish the unit. So you see there are different type of visualization of the data. It can be presented in a very different manner, but main fundamental are histogram and bar chart, pie chart, and duff chart. So these are the fundamental things, but rest are all excessive uses of the thing, so that you can have 2 pair, 3 pair correlation, this and all that. So that makes the presentation and interpretation of the data very easy. Because for example, if you have a table, from the table you can't say immediately क्या बहुत सा बड़ा सा टेबल हो उसमें 100-200 वैल्यूज हो तो आप इससे. लेकिन जब आप एक पाई चार्ट बनाओगे या स्कैटर डायग्राम बनाओगे या हिस्टोग्राम बनाओगे, यू कैन नो द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कहाँ बड़ी है, कहाँ कम है, कहाँ मिनिमम है, कहाँ मैक्सिमम है. यू एंड skewed कैसे, right skewed है, left skewed है. So all these things you will be able to understand once you plot the data. So that's why plotting is necessary for interpretation of the data. So that's where the data science people want all these graphics to be used for interpretation of the data. Right? Is it clear? Let me go to
Yes,
the
sir.
second unit of this, that is that we call. Hello, Rahim. रहीम रहीम को भेजो जरा. ये सेकंड वॉल्यूम. सेकंड वॉल्यूम ऊपर से. हाँ, ये नहीं नहीं, यूनिट 5. ठीक है, यूनिट 5 ऊपर. हाँ, बड़ा कर दो. हाँ, अब ठीक है. नहीं, वो उधर है. और थोड़ा बड़ा करो, थोड़ा कम करो बस. ये दे दो बस. वो खोल दो. वो खोल दो. है. ओके, थैंक यू. So now next unit, big architecture. Introduction, objective, big data and characteristic, big data application, structured versus semi-structured and unstructured data, big data versus data warehouse, distributed file system, HDFS and MapReduce, because Apache Hadoop 1 and 2, and so then some details. So the modern area of information and knowledge, we always talk data, information and knowledge, terabyte of data, because earlier the data was produced in terms of meteorological or ecological data, which was limited data. But now the data with WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, and all this is so much coming up that in a month you produce the data which was being produced in 20 years and all the earlier. So that type of thing which is happening. So uh, in 2025 you will produce so much data that you don't know how to take care of it. That's where cloud computing came. Cloud started developing the big data set. So that's how the things. You will have to do more research to do take care of the big data and analyze it, study it, and use it for various prediction purposes. Big data source, a big data environment may manage both batch processing and real-time processing of big data sources like data warehouses. Data warehouses came up. Data warehouses is becoming more bigger. So relational database and all that. So management system, SaaS application and Internet of Things devices. So that's uh, referred to as big data source. The management storage layers, analysis layer, and consumption layer. So these are the three layers so which we have to take care of it. The connecting to data source, data governance, system management, and protecting quality of service. So you can't just use data as it is. You have to pre-process it. You have to analyze it. You have to use missing data. You have to use good quality data, and so on and so forth. In unit, we'll discuss the big data as its characteristics and application. We'll also discuss big data architecture and related technologies such as MapReduce, HDFC, Aapke Hadoop, and Aapke Yarn. So these are the things which are uh, briefly discussed here. There's not completely discussed, but that's briefly discussed. So that's where objective is to explain the big data and its characteristics, compare the characteristic of structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, differentiate big data and data warehouse, describe the distributed file system, and explain HDFs and MapReduce and Apache Hadoop 1 and Hadoop 2. So big data characteristics you can see वॉल्यूम ये पहले तीन से हुआ था वॉल्यूम वेलोसिटी एंड वैरायटी बट अब तो बहुत से हो गया वॉल्यूम वेलोसिटी वैरायटी वेरासिटी देन validity, value, volatility, variability, visualization. So now there are 9. पहले सिर्फ 3 पर चलता था अब 9 V पर चल रहा है. So big data can be illustrated by looking at the stock exchange. आप स्टॉक जानते हो ना कि स्टॉक एक्सचेंज हमारे सेंसस क्या हो रहा है which creates approximately 1 terabyte of new trade data every single day. Terabyte. पहले हम मेगाबाइट बात करते थे अब टेराबाइट और पेटाबाइट की बात करते हैं सोशल मीडिया अकॉर्डिंग टू वेरियस रिपोर्ट more than 500 gigabytes of fresh data are added to the database each and every day. In just 30 minutes of flying time, a single jet engine is capable of producing more than 10 gigabytes of data because there are many thousands of flights each day. The amount of data generated can reach many petabytes now. देखिए megabyte is 10 to the power 6, gigabyte is 10 to the power 9, terabyte is 10 to the power 12, petabyte is 10 to the power 15, and so on. You can see that zeta, zettabyte भी होता है z के साथ. So that's what we are talking about. Ingestion, collecting and preparing the data, storage, analyze, and consumption. So that's the fourth step. Components are required for big data system to function properly. Ingestion means collecting and preparing the data. Inject करने हजम करना चाहिए ना ingest करना चाहिए so that whatever data comes we should be able to understand and store it analyze it and then consume that is खाने की बात है so that you need component that is responsible for collecting the data. Big data may be improved decision making, data driven customer services, efficiency optimization, real time decision. Improved decision making, for example, if supposing some disease is spreading, just as COVID had some. So once the COVID came, people started making decisions so that somebody started manufacturing the vaccine, somebody started driving the vaccines, so on and so forth. India did extremely well. Not only it helped Indian community, but something like 92 nations use our vaccines, which was normally vaccine takes about 3 years for testing and all that, but this was done very fast. Within 3 months, it was done. So that again is a wonderful thing done. So data driven customer services, efficiency optimization, real time decision making. So real time decision making is most important. That's what India made a good decision of COVID. Big data applications. One of the industry that make the most use of the big data technology is the travel and tourism. So travel and tourism use it most. That's where India is always venturing and asking people to come to India. And most of the places are being put as a part of the tourist spots. tourism sectors. It has made it possible for us to anticipate the need for travel facility in a variety of locations. अब इतनी trains, इतने airport, इतने bus और cars और Uber and uh, type of things have been started that makes the thing much easier. If the pricing has decreased, the things become much faster. The social media sites produce a significant amount of data. Big data allows marketers to make greater use of the information. So that's why big data technology is utilized widely within the financial and banking sectors. बैंकिंग सेक्टर में देखते हैं तो आप देखो आई गेट दैट आई कैन गेट लोन अप टू दिस मच अमाउंट please you have to just sign that you sign it and loan will be given to you within 1 hour. So that type of marketing is being done by the this. पहले क्या होता था 10,000 लोन लेने के लिए प्रॉब्लम होती थी अब 15 लाख 20 लाख करोड़ लेने के लिए भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती you don't have to put all these things and all that may be even for a new entrepreneur you put an entrepreneur you say this is what you are doing you can get 5 lakh 10 lakh loan easily without going for any other द फील्ड ऑफ हेल्थ केयर अगेन जो आप इंश्योरेंस करवाना है जो भी करना है तो हेल्थ के लिए एवरी फैसिलिटीज अब गवर्नमेंट दे रही है 5 लाख का हर एक को दे रही है सो दैट टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर यूज ऑफ बिग डेटा on recommendation system in another popular application of big data. One of the most important industries that produce and use big data is the telecommunication and multimedia business. Every day, zettabyte is higher than petabyte of new data are created. 10,000, 10 is to 3 times petabyte. So that type of thing there. So this is the com- companies are able to develop insight that are more accurate because of big data. Because big data से prediction होता है and company knows what is happening and you know what is happening to the other companies in the world so that you can compare the results and come out with the conclusion that what is happening to your company. Now, the data is structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. So that is where the term structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data are frequently brought up whenever we are having a discussion about the data or analytics. These are three varieties of data that are becoming increasingly important for many kinds of commercial application. That is structured, semi-structured, unstructured data. So this is around us, so we have to see that. System and reporting continues to rely on this type of data. In this section, you will see this is structured data. Structured data is term that refers to information that has been reformatted and reorganized in accordance with the data model. जो डेटा मॉडल आपने प्रिस्क्राइब करा है उस बेस पर आपका डेटा है सो दैट इज स्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा तो क्वेरी लैंग्वेज से एसक्यूएल से काम करता है सो रिलेशन मॉडल्स है जो भी पॉइंट ऑफ सेल टर्मिनल पर जा सकता है सो दैट टाइप ऑफ थिंग इज वेरी इजी टू दिस सो स्प्रेडशीट बन सकती है form of structured data that is generated by human. Because this way it is organized, structured data is simpler to examine compared to semi-structured data as well as unstructured data. Structured data can be analyzed easily because it corresponds to data models that have already been defined. For example, you can organize structured data such as names of customer in alphabet order, organize telephone number in the appropriate format, organize social security numbers in the correct format, so on and so forth. So unstructured data. Unstructured data may information that is displayed is in most unprocessed form is referred to as unstructured data. It is really difficult to work with this data because it has minimal structure and formatting is also very confusing. जो भी कुछ कोई बीच में फ्रेंच वर्ड यूज कर रहा है संस्कृत यूज कर रहा है कुछ भी यूज कर रहे हैं so unstructured data management can collect data from a variety of sources such as postings on social media platform conversation satellite imagery data from internet of things sensor devices email and presentation and organize it in a storage system in a logical and specified manner so इसको पहले स्टोर करना पड़ेगा उसको रिप्रोसेस करना पड़ेगा and then you have to get the value or the information from that data. That is most important and it's the most difficult part of it. Semi-structured, there is a third kind of data that falls between structured and unstructured data. Your data set might not always be structured or unstructured. One variety of such data is known as semi-structured data, and it differs from unstructured data in that it possesses both consistent and definite quality. It doesn't restrict itself to a fixed structure, so it doesn't have a fixed structure itself, but it has a relation database. Although organization qualities such as metadata or semantic tags are utilized with semi-structured data in order to make it more manageable, there is still certain amount of unpredictability and inconsistency present in this data. So structured data is the best data, unstructured data is the worst data, and semi-structured data is the in-between data. That type of, but you have to analyze everything. So use of delimited file is one illustration of data format that is only semi-structured. It has elements that are capable separating the hierarchies of data and all that. So it's a difficult part, but then you find algorithm, you find method of doing it, and that's why data analysis is becoming big job because a lot of people are working on this. So millions of jobs are being created in big data. Big data versus data warehouse. Data warehouse was earlier course some 10, 15 years back when we started. We had put a course in Indraprasth University as data warehouse and data mining as part of the BCA course, BSc honors course. A data warehouse and big data solutions are quite similar in many ways. So both have the capacity to store a significant amount of information. When reporting, either option is acceptable, but the difficulty is that this data is their data warehouse is able to take care of it. The data warehouse can have all the data. The form of big data that can be found in Hadoop, Cloudera, and other similar big data platforms is the type that is understood by most people. The following are the working definition for the big data. A type of technology that is able to store extremely vast volume of data, a technology that is capable of storing the data in devices that are not pricey, because अगर कॉस्टली होगी तो आप पैसा नहीं खर्च करना चाहोगे. A type of data storage technology in which the data is kept in a unstructured manner. So that type of thing. Data warehouse has a widespread uses in the past 2 decades, whereas the big data applications have seen significant rise over the course of the past decade. Big data are expected to eventually replace traditional data warehouses. So that's where, because data warehouses started about 2 decades earlier, now it's going to finish. It is going to talk about. It is going to talk about different things. That is, the big data will take over. Some other name will come for data warehousing. So it's not the data warehousing. Just 1 minute. Let me handle the telephone. Okay. Data warehouses had widespread uses in the past 2 decades, whereas the big data application have been significantly rise over the course of the past decade. That's what we said. Following are some of the similarity between the two. Both of these have a significant amount of information. Both may be utilized in the reporting process. Both are controlled by devices that save information electronically. So these are the similarity between them. But despite this, big data and data warehouses are not the same thing at all. Why? In order to understand this, we need to recapitulate the basic concept of data warehouse. So data warehouse is a subject-oriented, non-volatile, integrated, and time-variant collection of data that is generated for the aim of management. So why do we individual demand a solution that involves big data? People are looking for a solution for big data because there is a significant amount of data in many organizations. So that's where these are the difference. Comparison between big data and data versus data warehouse. They are Therefore, what do we find when we investigate the data warehouse in conjunction with the big data solution? A big data solution is an example of a form of technology where a data warehouse is an example of this. So that makes things very different. I am busy in a class. Please call me later. Hello? I am busy. I am taking a class. Please call later. Big data versus data warehouse. So you have seen that. Big data, data warehouse, you can say. Read this. There are eight this. So big data refers to data that is stored in an extremely large format. The term data warehouse refers to the accumulation of historical data. The term big data refers to type of technology that can store and manage extensive amount of data. Data warehouse is structure that is utilized in the process of data organization. As input, it will accept data that is either structured, non-structured, or semi-structured. The only type of data that can be used is structured data. Data warehouse uses only structured data. The distribution file system may used for processing the data. Processing operation in the data warehouse are not carried out using a distributed file system and so on. So you can read these 8 points and you can, this is the important question which can be asked in your examination between the data warehouse and this big data distributed file system that you can read location independent transparency or all these things that you can say structured transparency, XX transparency, name transparency, replica transparency, user mobility, performance, and all these things you can just go through. This is a simple thing which you can understand is data integrity, security. These are the 10 points which you should heterogeneity. You should be able to study that. Okay, so now you can see advantage of a distributed file system, DFS. DFS uh, permits many active user to access this. DFS allows the remote sharing. DFS facilitate the searching. DFS improve the ability to change the size of the data. DFS maintains data transparency, etc., etc. Disadvantage because all the nodes and connections in a distributed file system need to be secure. We can safely claim that security is at risk. During the process of moving from one node to another in the network, there is a chance that some of the messages and data will be lost. Now it doesn't get lost because one node to another, there is a complete system which is very good. Now there is no problem with this because you have multiple processing units and blades are there, so you have multiple. While using a distributed file system, difficulty is encountered when attempting to connect to the database. That also being solved now. When compared to a system with a single user, a distributed file system makes database management more difficult. If every node is the network attempts to transfer data at the same time, there is a possibility that the network will become overloaded. That's possible. So that one has to take care of it. Up HDFs and MapReduce, that's the important point. This is the last part of this unit. Data is being produced at a lightning speed in the model. It's a maximum velocity is very high. You said 9 V's. We have said we started with 3 V's earlier. The big data was introduced with 3 V's, but now it is 9 V's which we are talking about it. So that's why wide variety of sources such as corporation, scientific data, email, blogs, and other online. And with internet becoming so easy to available, because in 1999 we wanted 256 byte, we were not able to get the internet for 256 byte, but now you are getting gigabyte as normal internet. You are talking a petabyte getting this and all that. So that's the type of thing. The Hadoop is a collection of several software services that are all freely accessible. So Hadoop is very this distributed file system को Hadoop distributed file system HDFC को देखते हैं मैप प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. So that's where जो मैप प्रोड्यूस होता है HDFC फाइल से. So that's where this is happening. Name node. Name node is responsible for managing and directing how files are divided up into blocks. Data node, secondary node, तो ये Hadoop है. It's a name node. This is data node. This is a data node and data node. So this is job tracker, tracker, tracker. So task tracker. So these are the Hadoop debugs. So that's why Hadoop is like this. This is HDFC and MapReduce. This is map reduction and this is Hadoop data file system. So both are shown here very clearly so that you can see. So this is the data node 1, data node 2 and so on. So this is the name node, secondary node. So that's the B1, B2, B2, B3, B3, B1, B3, B1, B2, so on. Justify. So this is a task of secondary name node and all this. So that makes the thing, ये है map reduce. So split, sort and merge. So output data is come right here. Input is coming here. So it is map 1, map 2, map this, and then it goes to reduce, and output reduce file. So that one is taken care by the Hadoop one. So KV1, map 1, KV2, reduce, KV3. KV3 gets the reduce file of this. Why do you need reduce? Because it's important that if you don't reduce, you'll have unnecessarily lot of bulk on this. Job tracker, again, this is job trackers, so that what you can look up at it in this. Apache Hadoop 1 and 2 yard. So that is the resource manager, node manager. So this is the name node, data node, secondary notebook, job tracker, task tracker. So this is a Apache 2 यार्ड का है नेम नोड डेटा नोड सिक्योरिटी नेम नोड resource manager node manager. So this is map reduce, this is the map reduce version 2. These are the various Hadoop 1, Hadoop 2, which is also known as yarn. Yet another resource navigator. Yarn is yet another resource navigator. And map reduce version 2, this is map reduce version 1. So that's what. So this is working. उसको देख लीजिए Hadoop 1, Hadoop 2 का comparison देख लीजिए. And this is the Hadoop 1, Hadoop 2. ये structure diagram बनाया हुआ map reduce जो होता है map reduce यहाँ होता है. So that type of thing. So that finish is the second unit. We have one more unit to do. So that's the one which we'll do now. Any question on this?
No, sir.
Okay, so let me open the next unit.
So, Hadoop is a cloud service.
Just 1 minute. मैं वो सर रहीम को भेज रहा था. हाँ बोलो बेटे cloud. Yes, you are raising a question while I was talking to somebody here. Hello.
So since Hadoop is a cloud-based service, so like basically we deal with the big data in this using this tool.
Cloud is another way, but cloud is not taking of the big data and all that. Yes. Oh, do you know this? आप नेक्स्ट यूनिट खोल दीजिए. यूनिट इसमें से खोलिए. वो पहले आप जॉन को बुला लेते नहीं तो. आई कॉल जॉन नीचे है. जॉन को बुला लिया. हाँ, the cloud is a old concept. This started year 1995, 96, and we were hoping by year 2010 cloud structure will change and all that. A cloud is a basic thing which is a separate concept, hybrid cloud, separate clouds and all that, which contain the data. That's all. But this data is much bigger data than the cloud data. Data warehousing, for example, 2 weeks earlier started. So that again was talking about data warehousing. But now data warehousing has lost its value because you have big data which is much bigger than the data warehousing. data warehousing uses only the structured data, whereas in big data, you have to use structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Yes.
Like we have so nowadays we have AWS cloud service, we have a Azure.
Next unit call.
So we similarly, is it like the same Hadoop works in the same concept?
Tell me again. Raise the question.
Since we have nowadays AWS cloud service, and we have a
The
uh,
cloud service will not work
Azure.
with big data. So this is
Okay.
because the unit next 5 कर लिया मैंने 6 ये क्या है हाँ ये कर दो
So, sir, more or less, if we want to deal with big data, so we can use Hadoop. Is the same?
yes so पहले reduce करिए you Hadoop 1 या Hadoop 2 से reduce करके then you use उसको लगा दो अरे ये तो गलत कर दिया तुमने ये तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का कर दिया तुमने तो हाँ ये ठीक है प्रोग्रामिंग यूजिंग मैप प्रोड्यूस ये ठीक है ये बड़ा कर दो थोड़ा और बड़ा बस गुड थैंक यू सो मैप प्रोड्यूस करने का इम्पोर्टेंस बताया है यहाँ पर दिस यूनिट that's where you will see why clouds and all these cannot be used. So map produce operations, loading data into HDFC at the Hadoop data file system, installing Hadoop, loading data, map produce phases, map phase, shuffling and sorting, reduce phase execution, node failure, and map produce algorithm using map produce and all that. So unit 5, this group, you have gone through the concepts of HDFC, Hadoop data file system, and have been introduced to map produce programming paradigm. SDFSys is distributed file system which can help in reliable storage and all these things. So that's what you see. The unit illustrates the 3 stages in map reduce wizard: map phase, shuffle phase, and reduce phase. There are 3 phases which it goes: either map phase, then shuffle phase, and then reduce phase. So let's see that. Define map reduce, explain the main characteristics of map reduce, mapper, shuffle, and reduce. So these are the 3 things which were there. Illustrate the map reduce operation and loading of data into SDFCs. Solve various classical algorithms such as word count, matrix vector, multiplication using map reduces. So map reduce operation क्या होती है? Advanced information, the last 2 decades have led to tremendous growth in the data. Technology like database management system, data warehouse, World Wide Web, Internet of Things, cloud computing, etc., resulted in tremendous growth of the size of the data. This data is heterogeneous in nature and is growing at a brisk rate. Processing of this big data for generating useful, actionable knowledge for timely decision making required advancement in storage and processing technology. The 2 major initial applications of such big data that led to the development of neural processing paradigm were computation of page rank, social network friend network. These applications required fault-tolerant parallel or distributed computation. So this is what required. A distributed and fault-tolerant storage technology were developed. The storage technology were termed as the distributed file systems or DFS, and Hadoop distributed file system as DFS. So this is covered in most aspects of DFS and SDFS. Prior to 2004, huge amount of data were being stored in a single server. Thus, if any program was running a query which involved data storage on multiple servers, there was no means for logical integration of data for analysis. It would also lead to massive amount of computation time and effort. Furthermore, there was a threat of data loss and backup. This will lead to reduced scalability. Thus, to cater to this, Google introduced Hadoop MapReduce in December 2004, which led to significant reduction of analysis time. It allows various queries to run simultaneously on several sectors. Other advantages of MapReduce includes fault tolerance and scalability. MapReduce is a programming model that can process as well as analyze huge data logically across machine clusters. क्लस्टर मशीन के जो है उसमें हो सकता है. Mapper is responsible for data sorting while reducer divides it into the logical cluster while pruning the unnecessary or big bad data. Bad data को prune कर देता है. So Hadoop map prediction, a processing unit of Hadoop using which we can process the big data stored in the HDFS storage. It allows to perform parallel and distributed computing in a huge data. MapReduce is used to indexing, search data, classification of data, recommendation of data, analysis of data. These are two functions MapReduce. That is, one is the map function and the other is a reduce function. The architecture of MapReduce is shown in figure 1. You may observe here there are a number of map and reduce functions in figure 1. So the input of map functions are sequence and all that. Let us see, this is the figure. So map 1, map to this and all that, input, reduce, reduce, output. That we saw the earlier also. So this is the type of the parallel processing. Data is processed in parallel. That makes processing fast. Data locality map function is generally performed locally on the DF's nodes. The MapReduce system makes sure that processing is performed in a fault tolerance manner. So that's where your data warehouse takes care only structured data, but this takes care of structured and semi-structured and unstructured data. Thus, in MapReduce programming, an entire task can be divided into map tasks and reduce tasks. Map text input as a key value and produce output as a list of key value. Reduce value input as a shuffling of key, etc. ये देखिए, ये key है, ये value लेके इसे map produce हो जाता है. So these are the things. So these are the things which is happening. Loading data into HDFS. In order to load HDFS, first you need to install the Hadoop MapReduce into your system. The minimum configuration for the installation is Intel Core 2 due. So that's where it's, you can do it up to 2.5 gigahertz because this is 2004 technology used. So 10 gigabytes and all these things and all that. So yeah, this is the program that can do it. This is a program that can do it, and that you can look at it. Okay, home Hadoop, common home, this and all that, so that you can look up at it. So execution of map phase, the same example as in figure 3. We will check the feature of MapReduce and Hadoop. We will move to Hadoop folder. ये Hadoop folder है. और this is the Ram Sham Mohan, Ram Sham, Mohan Sham Mohan, and so on. Ram Sham Mohan, Mohan Sham this, Ram Sham Mohan, and these are it has so many times it has been reduced and ultimately you have Ram Sham तीन है. So that's what this is here. ये तीन है because these are the three. Ram is one, Ram two, Ram three. तो इसको कैसे भी शिफ्टेड है. यहाँ राम श्याम है, यहाँ राम श्याम मोहन है, यहाँ मोहन श्याम मोहन है, यहाँ मोहन दो है, यहाँ मोहन नहीं है, यहाँ मोहन एक है. So that ultimately राम तीन, श्याम तीन, मोहन तीन. So that's what the reduce हो जाता है. Shuffling this, and you can just go through this and you will see it's a reduced phase execution. Hadoop producer takes the intermediate key value pair output from the mapper and process each one separately to produce the output. So that's where it reduces the file. So this is the program MapReduce का map functions for word count problem using Python. So that's where it is. So node failure and MapReduce. One of the major advantages of MapReduce is that it allows failure of the node that are performing the distribution method. The worst scenario is the failure of the computer node where the master program is running as the master node coordinates the execution of the MapReduce. क्योंकि हमेशा जब अगर एक प्रोसेस एक कंप्यूटर में n number of processor है तो processor 1 takes up the leading role. अगर उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम होता है then it's a serious thing. However, you may please note that only this one node has the power to shut down the entire job. All other failure will be handled by the master node and वही जो मेन नोड है वही हैंडल करता है. अगर भाई अगर मेन नोड पर कोई प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगा it will shut down the system. That part as a leader. Algorithm using MapReduce देख लिए word count problem, ये सारा matrix vector multiplication, all these things are well explained here. ये the program भी है, ये software है. So that's the matrix multiplication. So this covers up whole of the course. This MapReduce that way is the most crucial software which is available freely now. You don't have to pay for it. So Hadoop is freely available. So you can just plan to reduce the system and work with it. Okay? Is it clear? Or you want me to go any other step? Some step I have to introduce. Hello? Word counting, matrix vector multiplication, all this. Because matrix vector multiplication is the most pricey program which has to be done. So word counting is easier. So that is जैसे राम शाम का करा था. So but to do the vector multiplication that takes more energy. So that you can look up and all that. Is it okay? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it okay? You are able to understand it?
Yes, sir.
All the best. All the best. Then we uh, take rest for some time, have your lunch, and come back at 2 o'clock. Okay? So that we can then do artificial intelligence. But please, before going, you put your name and enrollment number on your chat box. Okay? So that your attendance is marked. All right? अरे response करो. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All the best. Thank you. अपने अपने एनरोलमेंट नंबर और नाम लिखा दो.
So, like it's out of the topic question. Like, uh, can you suggest some of the project that we can submit as a synopsis and then in the final semester?
Who is speaking now?
It's Rahul here. Yes,
आप MCA के हो ना?
yes sir. Yes, sir. Third sir.
आप आपने भेजा है कोई मुझे?
No, sir. Like I want the suggestion from your side, like so
It
that
can be AI based or big data based. किसी भी इस subject में just go to the Google, check up the various projects and write 2 pages each and send me by email.
sure, sure, sure. Thank you, sir. Can I know your email, sir, so that I can share with you?
Okay, my email is rkdatta rkdatta underscore in@yahoo.com. Okay.
So is it correct? Correct. I texted on chat. Uh, can you cross check?
चैट में मैं देख रहा हूँ. Oh, oh.
It's incorrect, I guess. RK Datta underscore
.in im नहीं in
IN. Okay, okay. IN.
in@yahoo.com. This is okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Take rest then. All right. Shall I switch off?
Sure. Like one more thing, sir.
Yeah.
Before submitting the project, we need to submit the synopsis in your email.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Synopsis has to first go to RC. After I approve it, if I am your guide, or if I am not even your guide, if your guide sends it and you send it to me, I'll give you my comments. With those comments, you can improve it and then send it to RC. Okay. If I am your guide, then I have to give my biodata and all the things for you.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
This will help you. Yes, sir. This is helpful. Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Telvin, Shahid, Shriti? No?
Yes, sir.
No question.
No, sir.
Okay. All the best then. Take rest and come back at 2 o'clock. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.